This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence. Listener discretion is advised. Hi, guys. Hello. It is Friday morning, and I'm not going to do a new episode right now. So for all the people who are strictly here for true crime and absolutely hate it when I babble on about life or anything else, now is probably your time to click off. So, or stay. I would love to have you, but I just wanted to check in because I know there wasn't a new episode this week, and I was honestly just feeling kind of like I wanted to talk to you guys, which will probably amount to, I hate to say this, but like some complaining. I've been on one this week. I don't know. I'm feeling all kinds of things. So, and people who are on Patreon, you probably already know all of this if you've listened to my morning walk and talk from this week. So I don't think it's not like official, but on Patreon, I do one extra, I don't even want to call it an episode because it's not true crime. And I'm not even sitting at my computer. I usually just have my headphones in and I'm walking the dogs and just talking to Patreon. And I think it's pretty much every week I do one, sometimes two. It's pretty rare that I miss a week, but I do here and there. So I just thought I would put that out there. But I just saw a video on Jim's TikTok, and I happened to glimpse at the comments, and they pissed me off so much. And I was like, I want to talk about this. To who? And then I thought, well, I didn't put anything out for the podcast this week, and I'll get to that in a second. So maybe I'll talk to the podcast listeners about this, and I will in a second. But hi, I do miss talking to you guys when I don't do an episode, and I've been pretty consistent lately. This week, I think the whole gym thing really hit me. You know, that was last week that I found out that I'm losing my job with him, and because I'm being replaced by a group of digital media bros, and because this is public and anyone can listen, I will not go deeper into my thoughts on that, except for on Patreon. However, it hit me this week a little bit, and it hit me and I was very sad, and it hit me and I was very mad. And I felt kind of like, fuck everything. Like, fuck everything. I just want to like burn everything down. Like, I just found myself being extremely frustrated with that situation, with this entire industry that I work in general. I'm just going to be fully transparent here with this podcast. And it's not really fair for me to be frustrated by the lack of listenership on this podcast because I don't necessarily treat it all the time like a job. I've been trying to more lately, but I don't. And I know I don't post enough on socials, and there's more that I could be doing to grow this podcast. So my frustration there is probably not justified, but my frustration with all my other work stuff, I think, is valid. I saw Jim posted something that, like a new series on YouTube that he's doing with these new digital media bros who are replacing myself and Mike, the incredibly talented editor and really technical producer of the show. And if you hear my voice sounding very like, I don't even know what the word is, um, that's that is how I feel very, I don't know, I'm split. I feel on one hand like business is business, and I understand that. And I have watched these digital media bros come in and they are chopping videos from all of Jim's old content. They are definitely using AI to do it, but fine, and posting every single day. And his numbers have exploded. I mean, his view like every single day, and it's been over a month now. So now his views, his followers, everything. It's 100% true what they say that you just have to post, 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 and eventually it will take off. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if for like this, for Death by Southwest Instagram, if that's true, we have like, whatever, I don't know, 700 followers, something like that. Jim started, I mean, he's famous. So he started with a following. So it's hard. I don't know. I can't say if that is actually true for like anybody, but for him, it's been true and it's impressive and awesome. And I can totally understand him wanting to have people who have the time and to just chop stuff up and post it. I need to be careful about what I say because I don't want this to come off incorrectly. Um, as I've talked about, and as you guys know, I really love Jim. I've become very fond of him. And so this is not an attack on that, but it's something that I think could be relatable for people who are in a completely different industry, even. People get replaced all the time by, especially nowadays with AI. I feel like jobs are being replaced by AI or by people combined with AI. It happened to my dad. He worked in advertising for 30 years, maybe more, and was a producer for television commercials in Chicago and very good at it and had been, doing it for years and years. And at a certain point, I was in high school at some point. He was replaced by someone who's, the way he described it to me, younger and would do it for cheaper. And that's kind of what I feel like has happened here with this situation with myself and Mike and Jim. And so again, business is business. I can't deny the fact that if he can get somebody to do what we do for less money, that's a smart business decision. There's a million other thoughts that go into that I guess I won't get too deep into. But why did I start on this? I saw something on his social media that I want to talk about. It has nothing to do with this job stuff. Oh, because I didn't have an episode this week. And he posted something, a video series that he's now making at these digital media bros studio that they have. So they live locally where he lives in Florida. And, and it's something that he talked about doing with myself and Mike, like the three of us talked about doing. And we talked about doing a lot of things. He said this year, 2025, is like the year that like he had the right team to make things happen now with myself and Mike, and we were gonna do a tour and we were gonna do all kinds of things. And now I'm watching him do some of these things already with this new team. And it sucks. It sucks because I'll only speak for myself. I won't speak for Mike, but I was really excited about this year and about some of the projects and things that we talked about with him and we're planning to do. And we didn't do anything wrong, myself and Mike. It's not like we fucked up or messed something up or anything. We didn't. At least, I mean, we didn't. I was going to say at least to the best of our knowledge, but I'm going to say we did not. he just found a group of people who I'm going to say can do the same thing that we do with air quotes because I'm not convinced of that yet, but they can do more quantity than quality. And for Mike and I, it's always been quality over quantity. So it's hard to think back to all the meetings that we had, all the conversations that the three of us had about like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and let's start putting this into action. And we were just very excited for this coming year. And now I'm watching him do it with these guys. And that's what I saw on Monday or Tuesday. And something inside of me just like snapped. I just was equal parts pissed off and hurt and sad because it feels like what we weren't good enough. Like all the time and energy and dedication and like care that we put into making this show with you and all the things that we were going to do weren't good enough. And that's not it. I don't think that's it, but that's just how that's like my emotional reaction to it. Um, and and then I can't remember, I can't recall how much I've talked about some of these other projects that I supposedly have coming up or should start working on soon on here. I know I've talked about them on Patreon. Either way, had a few things that were supposed to start, like additional shows and projects that I was going to be working on in addition to Jim. And I got the good news about a couple of these before I knew I was losing my job with Jim. So everything in my mind was like normal with Jim and going smoothly. And then I was like, found out, oh, okay, I'm going to have this new project I'm going to work on. Then this project. And I was so excited. It's like, finally, things are coming together. Like it's been 2 years since Cavalry went under, and I'm still not like on my feet fully, uh, financially. Oh, I just got emotional. I'm gonna get my period any day now, guys. So tears might come at any time during this conversation. I was not expecting that. I felt so relieved for like 2 days when I found out that these other projects were going to happen. And as far as I knew, everything was great with Jim. And I was like, oh, finally, I can breathe. Like I'm gonna have a full schedule, like full-time work, full-time income. Uh, Sorry, I'm trying not to swallow my water right in the microphone. And it felt like such a huge weight off my shoulders. And I know that this has been like all this career stuff has been weighing on me a lot, but I don't even think I realized how much because for those days when I was like, okay, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna start all these things and keep going with Jim, and it was like, okay, okay, things are gonna be okay. And then, really, just as quickly, I want to say within like 5 days, then I found out about what's happening with Jim, and then one of those projects got delayed by a couple months. The other one is very slow to start. And it was just like, I, it's what is that saying? One step forward and two steps back is how it felt. And it has felt like that for now over 2 years since Cavalry became no more. Uh, yeah, it's it's uh it's a constant like up and down and getting excited about something and being hopeful about something, and then it doesn't happen or it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to happen. And I'm sick of it. I'm not sick of it enough to go try and get a job where I like sit in an office for 8 hours a day. Um, I have thought a lot lately about teaching and going back to teaching. I just don't think I can actually survive on the amount of money. I don't think I can. Um, Otherwise, I would love to do that. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, this has now turned into a giant bitching session. Long, long, long story, somewhat shorter. It just really came crashing down on me this week. And I just felt like, fuck everything. I don't want to do anything. What's the point? Like, and none of it ever works out. And that's really not how I typically am. Like, if anything, I'm like annoyingly overly positive and believing that things are going to work out to the point where it's like, oh, shut the fuck up. Like, okay, it's good to be positive, but let's not overdo it. Like, I feel like that's what I say to myself sometimes. So this was like not a typical reaction for me. So I just knew I needed to kind of step away from things. And I did. I didn't do anything fabulous this week or exciting. I I I purged boxes of clothes that I've had, I feel like hopefully I think many women can relate to hanging on to old clothes because you hope they fit one day, whether they're too big, too small, whatever the case. I mean, I had boxes of clothes that were too small, that I held on to for, I mean, years. And I just was feeling so frustrated with life in general. I wanted to get rid of everything. I was like, I want to get rid of everything. And I'm still not done. I still have one more closet to go through, and I'd like to go through everything, all the cabinets, bathroom, and just minimize. And I feel like those two things, the whole job frustration, feeling like fuck everything, is somehow perhaps related to the purging, but I can't figure out exactly how. So, any therapists out there listening, let me know your thoughts on that. I feel like they may be connected. Um, I can't necessarily say that it made me feel better because I like working. I love doing this podcast. I love the work that I was doing for Jim. I'm excited about these projects that will hopefully come to fruition at some point soon. I don't like the feeling of not working and not being productive at all. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love a vacation. I love a weekend. I love a random day here and there that you unexpectedly get to do something fun or just lay on the couch or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that. But in general, I like to wake up and feel like I'm needed. I have things to do. Um, and so purging this week, I purged. I did a lot of kicking and punching workout videos. Uh, I also, yeah, I can't say it made me feel better, but here we are. Now it's Friday and it's the weekend. And because I didn't really do much this week, I feel guilty about like enjoying the weekend. Does anybody else have that happen? Like, if I didn't do enough during the week, I don't really deserve the weekend. I don't actually believe that, but that's just sometimes how I feel. So I'm going to try and get over that this weekend. I'm sure this is very annoying. Like, where's our true crime episode? You just did nothing this week? Yeah, that's the truth. I feel like I've always tried to be very, very honest, probably too honest. Flashback to the breakup videos where I'm just sobbing into the microphone. Uh, be very honest on this podcast, and that's where I'm at. That's how I was feeling. It makes and then I avoid Instagram. I avoid checking the email because then it gives me anxiety. I feel guilty. Like in my head, there are people who are like, "Hey, it's Tuesday. There's no podcast episode out." In reality, I don't think that's happening. But I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it and vent a little bit and share where I was at and tell you honestly that that's what happened. So I have one written. I have another one that I'm writing right now. Um, so it was just a week. And next week, I'm going to tell myself we'll be better. And I will focus on Death by Southwest if I have nothing else to focus on, and maybe do some extra content. Although I hate to make these promises because I feel like I say something and then I don't do it and then I feel like an asshole. So, anyways, the video that I opened up, let me start over here. So, there is an episode that we recorded on Jim's podcast. You guys have heard me talk about on here because I did put out, I think, a regular episode on the biggest little farm. So that episode is now out. The one that we recorded with John Chester, who owned the farm. I think it's Apricot Lane Farm, and made that amazing documentary that completely like moved me and inspired us to build the greenhouse in the backyard and all that. Jim let me ask him a few questions on the podcast when he came on, and I did. And so good. I'm not so good in this. I'm like half in tears the whole time I'm talking to this man because his life and his documentary affected me so deeply. And I'm such a fucking overly emotional person. But it was such a special episode. So I will try to remember I'm going to write it down right now, put the link to it. Did I do that before? Maybe I did. Link. I'm only 42. Why can I not keep track of things in my brain? I feel like I forget things all the time. And don't tell me this is perimenopause because I'm so fucking sick of every single thing going on in my brain and body being because of perimenopause. I mean, I'm sure it is, but I'm tired of hearing that. Link for Biggest Little Farm to watch it if you guys want to watch it on YouTube. So I was watching it a little bit this morning again because just this man, the way that John Chester, the way that he talks about life and purpose and all the things that we all probably contemplate and deal with, the way he talks about it is so wonderful and inspiring and lovely that I needed a little pick me up. So I was watching a little bit of it and I thought, oh, I'm going to cut a social media clip, which is not really my job anymore with Jim, but this was a really special episode. Mike and I were both part of it. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. And I cut a social media clip, posted it on Jim's social media, which is also not part of my job anymore. But again, I feel like extenuating circumstance. And I saw all these comments pop up on a video or two videos that this team posted for him. I haven't watched them. I'm gathering they're about the vaccine, which I know is a controversial topic. So here we go. 90% of the comments are people saying, never needed it. So Jim, I'm assuming in the video, because he was pretty anti-vaccine, COVID vaccine for a while. And he did a stand-up special where he talks about it, I believe. This was a lot of the stuff that I tried to tune out because I got the vaccine. I'm not ashamed to say it. I've had no issues because of it. I understand that some people have. I understand that many people feel like it was unnecessary. I understand all the sides of it. And I'll be completely honest, and this may really turn people off. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I'm not educated enough to know for sure if it was necessary, if it was unnecessary. I believe that it did save lives. I also know that this was a complex disease that changed, that had variations, and that like there's so much that goes into this. And I am no scientist. I'm not even that well read on all of this. So that was my choice. I don't know. Yeah, I was what do they say, a sheep. I followed the masses. I believed that this would protect me. I still had COVID. I still got COVID, but it wasn't that big of a deal and I was fine. I have no judgment. I genuinely do not have any judgment if I don't feel strongly enough about it to have a judgment if people chose to get it or not get it. Except for one thing, and I'm going to tell you that in a second. But all the comments are like safe and effective, my ass. I had three grand mal seizures, I believe. Grand malls, perfectly healthy before the vaccine. Never needed the shot, nor did anyone in my family. We all got COVID and survived with minimal symptoms. Great. I'm so glad my kids listened to me and didn't get it. It should be illegal, but unfortunately, in most states, it's not. People still think that, and then this guy says people still think the vaccines didn't save lives. That's wild. I tend to agree with that guy, but again, I'm neutral. Uh, anyways, oh, this person says, I haven't seen a single comment in here from someone that took the jab, defending their choice to do so. They're ashamed that they were so easily manipulated. No, I'm not. I don't do comments, social media comments. That's not my thing. I don't care enough about anything, I don't think, to comment. But Mark's dad did pass away from COVID and in January of 2022. And he did not get the vaccine. And I absolutely believe that if he had, there's a very good chance that he would still be here. And that's my personal thoughts. I have nothing, like, I don't have like documents or research in front of me to back that up. But I do believe that. And that is a very personal experience with this. So when I see people saying so aggressively, like, you idiot for getting the vaccine, or people are so stupid who got the vaccine. Now we know better. Okay, maybe we do. Hindsight is 2020. So if we've now learned, again, I probably sound like a fool and uneducated saying this, but I am uneducated on this purposefully. I hate all the angry back and forth. Ooh, I'm stopping myself from getting too deep into this. Sorry. Uh, I, but I do, my belief is that if his dad had had the vaccine, he would still be here. And that is devastating to think about. Um, and so it really upsets me when people are so aggressively adamant that no one needed the shot and that it was actually did more harm than good. I don't believe that. I do believe it saved lives. Maybe everyone didn't need it. Maybe it did cause negative side effects in people. But COVID also has caused negative side effects in people. I mean, there's just too many sides to this entire thing. And I'll stop here in a second because I know most people, this is a very dividing topic for people, and I try to avoid that on this show. But just seeing those comments, I just like it really, and I can't respond to them. I won't. There's no point. But even, sometimes hearing Jim talk on the podcast about it, and his thoughts about how it was stupid for people to get the vaccine and stuff, I can't help but my mind immediately goes to Mark's dad, and it just angers me. And I just wanted to get that out. So there we are. So that was that. I thought I had a bunch of other things that I wanted to get into, but I feel like everyone's probably clicked off by now talking about the fucking vaccine. Um, I don't know. I'm sorry that there was no episode this week. I guess I may still record this one later today. I don't know. I think I'm having a midlife crisis, guys. Me and my friend Jackie were talking about that on my morning walk this morning, that she thinks that we're both having a midlife crisis. I mean, it would make sense. We're midlife, right? Um, and then we concluded after bitching about 85,000 things that, wow, we're really also pretty lucky. Like, what the fuck am I complaining about? I'm healthy as far as I know. I have friends and family that love me. I kind of have a career. I don't know. It's hard for me to say right now. I have a home. I have food, like the basics. And I know that's like, ugh, so annoying. It's so cliche to, and gratitude, gratitude, gratitude shoved down our throats everywhere. But it's also true. Uh, yeah, just contemplating a lot about like life and death. And Mark and I watched this. There's like a screensaver on Vizio TVs. It's not a screensaver, that's not the right word, but it's kind of a screensaver. It's called Cityscapes. And it's like on the home page of your Vizio. If you have a Vizio TV, you can find it there, I believe. And it's just jazz music. Great jazz music. I like it. And then like drones flying over cities around the world. And they spend about 30 minutes in each city on the TV. And I love it. I don't know why. I find it so soothing and like it's soothing and it makes me happy. I really enjoy it. So it's pretty much always on my TV if I'm not watching something. And I love the music. And and one day we were watching it and I was like, look at all those buildings. It, it was Dubai or Prague. I can't remember. But it's a city, tons of buildings, tons of structures. I was like, look at all those buildings. Look at all those windows. People, there are people in all of those. Like people live there in those places. Hundreds of thousands of people. Mark's like, uh-huh, yeah. And I was like, don't you ever think how meaningless we are? Like, think of how many people, every single person, maybe not every single person, but most people think that they are their life and them and their family and that they're important. They feel important in some way. Like they want to be here, they want to be alive. I do. But in the whole scheme of things, like I don't matter at all. There are so many people. What the hell do I'm nothing in this whole world. Like I don't matter at all. Nothing that I'm doing matters. If I die tomorrow, a handful of people will be sad, but it's not going to change anything. The world's not going to change or shift. I mean, tons of people could die tomorrow and the world's not going to change or shift. Tons of people will die. You know what I mean? It's like a really dark train of thought. So I don't want to damper your Friday. Hi, guys. You haven't heard from me in a week. Let me tell you about death and how much you don't matter. But those are the kind of thoughts that I've been having a lot lately. And what's so funny is that I'm having these thoughts about like myself, my life, life in general. However, there was a rodent of some kind crossing a very busy street the other day and was crossing in front of me and I stopped in the middle of traffic in the middle of the intersection to not hit it and was trying to figure out if I should get out of my car and take a towel to like pick it up and usher it to the other side of the road. And in trying to figure, or was I going to get hit by a car if I did that? And so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm stopped in the middle of the road and another in the car and in the lane next to me, a car is coming. It didn't stop. I don't know if it hit it. I don't know. I immediately started crying. I was like, people are honking. I had to keep driving. And then I'm just driving and just crying about this rodent that looked really sad. Like he was confused crossing the road. It really makes me upset. And this happens. I cry and my heart like breaks for an animal, for a wild animal that like would probably bite me if I tried to help it. The Melvins in the backyard, yeah, they're still here. I cannot seem to get myself to get rid of them. Still feed them every night. I know I'm an asshole. I know. I don't I don't know what's wrong with me. I cannot, like, the animal stuff is absolutely crazy. And especially because I'm having all these thoughts like, well, I don't matter. My life doesn't really matter. Who cares? But I care about the rat crossing the street, the one rat. Like, it's just I make no sense even to myself lately. I'm annoying myself. I find myself to be irritating with the way that my brain is working. Is this 42? This is what happens. This is how it's going to go. Is it going to get better? I don't think so. Might get worse. So, really excited about that. Yeah. hmm Takes me, 10 years to lose 3 pounds around my midsection, and I cry for the most insane reasons and also don't care about anything. It's a beautiful time in life. I saw there was an article about it, but I had seen a few TikTok videos before. This woman, it's called like the I Don't Care Club or Things We Don't Care About Club for women over 40. Basically, just this one woman made a video. Maybe you've seen it. I'll try and find it. Talking about things that, like, at this point in life, she doesn't care about. She does not care if her socks match. She does not care if her hair hasn't been washed in a week. Like, things like that, that, like, I'm basically like going through hell with menopause, perimenopause. And so I don't give a shit about any of these things anymore that I used to care about or that a lot of people care about. And women, it took off. It like got the video went, I almost said went popular. The video went viral, and so women started commenting other things like that they don't care about. And so now she takes those comments and she turns them into a new video, reading off the things that other women don't also do not care about anymore. And I was like, I relate so much to this. Uh, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm just actually gonna start blaming everything on perimenopause. I don't remember where I was going with that. That's just my perimenopause brain, because that's basically, if you look on social media at all, like, that's what it's telling me. And I understand that my phone is, has hijacked my thoughts and is only showing me things that apply to me or that it wants to apply to me, whatever. So I obviously see a lot of perimenopause stuff on social media, but maybe it's true. Maybe that's what this is. And this is what I have to look forward to for the next, mm, I don't know, however long this is going to last. I hope not. Anyone else? Anyone else feeling this way? Dealing with any of these same things? Feeling both like I want to like get in, like I want to work, I want to make a difference, I want to be productive, and at the same exact time feeling like fuck it. I want to run away and take some good books and comfy clothes, and that's it. I do apologize for getting on here and just complaining to you guys, but maybe one or some of you can relate to this. As I'm talking, if you're watching this, I'm looking at how uneven my jaw is. I feel like this is like that. It's an odd thing to watch yourself talk, like I have no makeup on. This is completely me with nothing. My sad little short hair, because I've bleached the hell out of it to ruin it. Uh, it's odd to watch yourself. I don't know. I suppose younger people don't feel this way because they're constantly filming themselves on social media, and there have been like cell phones their whole life. But remember so long ago when there weren't cell phones and we only had like disposable cameras. So I wasn't constantly looking at pictures of myself in every situation immediately. I had to like wait. And by that point, it was just fun to remember the memory, the night, the experience. And I wasn't so concerned about like me. But staring at yourself constantly is, I believe, very unhealthy. What about AI, guys? You know that I'm a big fan. I've been a big fan of ChatGPT for a long time, but it's getting scary now. Scary. Are any of us going to have jobs? Like, It's wonderful. Jackie, my friend Jackie, you guys remember Jackie? She co-hosted episodes. She told me that they went out, her and her husband went out Wednesday night, and she said, yeah, we took a, oh, shit, what's it called? Away go, away something, away, something like that. It's a self-driving car that's like an Uber, but there's no driver. And she took one. I was like, what? Are you crazy? She made a good point. She was like, well, if I'm traveling alone as a woman, it makes me feel safer than being in the car with like some random Uber driver who could just murder me. True. I agree with that. Also, I read two scripts when I was at Cavalry about self-driving cars that like malfunctioned and tried to kill the people in them. I mean, I know that's like a trope and like so cliche nowadays, but it's stuck in my brain. She said that she also said she knew a lot about this. She said that there have been like these self-driving cars that get pulled over because they'll like run a yellow light or something. And she said like she's read stories about them that they've like gotten stuck in a roundabout where they just keep going around and around. You have to like call customer service or something. I do agree that probably, there's no human error. There's no room for human error. And then you don't have like a driver that could be potentially creepy or dangerous. So I think in that sense, that makes sense to me. But I'm not sure I'm ready to do that yet. Has anybody else done that? Has anybody been in one of these self-driving cars? All right. I guess I'll shut the fuck up now. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on perimenopause and complaining. I'd love to just do this every week. I guess I do this on Patreon basically, but it's kind of fun to just talk, have like a personal therapy session with myself. And then I like seeing your guys' feedback and thoughts and stuff. Anyways, I hope everyone has a lovely weekend. If anyone has any encouraging words or just you want to commiserate with me on any of these things, I know that I feel like the career stuff I was going to say, I think I started to say and then didn't finish. Even if you're not in the same like industry or whatever, people get replaced by younger people and cheaper people and people lose their jobs. And so if you're experiencing any of that or going through any of that, I'm right there with you. And I'm going to go purge with the last closet in the house that needs purging. And I hope you will not unsubscribe and stop listening to me because of this venting session and because I really didn't have a good reason for no episode this week, except for my mental health, which I guess is a good reason, actually. So I really wish you guys could talk back, but you comment on Spotify. Those I don't get anxiety about those comments, and I try to always respond. So you could comment on there. I definitely have not checked Instagram messages in like I don't know, years. It feels like forever. I have checked the email, but we haven't gotten any. Um, all right. I don't know why I drag on at the end. It's like I don't want to get off, but I have nothing really left to say that's worthwhile. I don't know if anything was worthwhile this whole time, but there we are. I will stop. Oh, I know what? I listened to a podcast. I'm not sure if I recommended this before, but I listened to a podcast. I heard Henry barking, and they are supposed to paint the outside of my house this week. It's Friday. They haven't. I had to move everything away from the house, including the greenhouse. We had to move the greenhouse. It did not go well. And so all of my backyard is in disarray because I've moved everything away from the sides of the house so they could paint the house. Nobody's painted the fucking house. What's going on? So I need to go bring him in case suddenly they're magically painting the house now. Why do I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame? Okay. Where was I? No, it's gone. Whatever I was saying before Henry barked is gone out of my brain. Oh, podcast. Wow. True crime creepers. I like them. I don't know. I must have listened to it before. I opened up my podcast app because I really only listen to podcasts when I am like at the grocery store or I would say shopping, but I don't really shop. Sometimes I'll go to Target and just walk around and look at all the things that I would like to buy. Um, so yeah, I was listening to them the other day, an episode, and I like them. It's the same format as this. Well, as this used to be. It's two friends. I haven't listened to it enough to really know like where they live. Do they live close to each other? I think they're probably close in age to me. I know one of them has kids. The other one just got married a year ago. But one of them tells a story to the other, and the other just kind of like injects commentary. And I have found a lot of podcasts like that, true crime podcasts with women hosts that I listen to, and men hosts actually, because I think the only men host one is Last Podcast on the Left. I don't know. I find them annoying, which gave me great insight to understand why people find this podcast annoying or found it annoying when me and Jenna did it together, or find episodes like this annoying. And Morbid, their voices really irritate me. I don't know why. But True Crime Creepers, they don't. Their voices are nice. They seem reasonable. They don't talk too much about their own shit, but enough that it's like interesting. I don't know. I enjoyed it. It's very similar to this podcast, I think. So if you're, I mean, I hate to turn people away from this podcast, but if you are looking for another podcast, I enjoyed it. I'll probably listen to it again. What other recommendations do I have? That's what I would love to start doing. Giving you guys great recommendations for things. Ooh, my friend just got, I won't say her name on here because I didn't ask if I could, but my friend just got lip injections for free because her friend owns like a med spa here or something and they needed like a lip model. If there are any med spa owners out there who are listening and you need a lip model or a wrinkle model, well, I'm not ready. I'm not sure I'm prepared to do Botox in my face, even if it was free. You just can't well, you can undo it, can't you? I don't know. I don't want to do that. But I would get some lip injections or I would get some, what do they do? I don't really understand how they do it, but eyelashes. So you never have to wear mascara or do anything. I would do things that would make me look better so I never have to put on makeup. For free, though, only for free. There are a ton of things that I've tried lately that I really like. I'm going to make a list and I will do a product recommendation episode. There's a great bathing suit on Amazon that I really like for like $20. A great dress on Amazon that I got for the wedding. I don't want to be an Amazon spokesperson, but a new fitted sheet because Indiana ripped up my old fitted sheet. Really nice fitted sheet and soft. And everything's like under $20, you know? That's how I shop. So I'm gonna do that, but I won't do that here. I will say goodbye. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I appreciate you. If you're listening, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you sticking with me while I figure out my way through this life. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, that's it. Love you guys. Thank you. Go check out the documentary Biggest Little Farm if you haven't, or you could watch the episode on Jim's podcast. We recap a lot of it. And I'd love to hear from you if you are experiencing any of the shit that I'm experiencing in life right now. And that's it. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And goodbye.
Death by Southwest is hosted by Jenna Schneider and Margot Carmichael.
Executive produced by Margot Carmichael.
Produced by Jenna Schneider.
Audio editing and sound design by Margot Carmichael.
Music by Soundstripe.
And a special thanks to Edward R. Murrow for letting us borrow his famous sign-off phrase, good night and good luck.